Okay, so this policy gradient theorem thing,
Yeah.
it sounds kind of intimidating, right?
It does a little bit. Yeah, like something out of a sci-fi movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. But once we kind of peel back the layers a bit, it's really cool and pretty intuitive.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we're going to try to do today, right? Tackle this really important concept in reinforcement learning.
Right.
And we've got like a great excerpt that explains it and get this. There's even like some Python code
Yeah.
to help us see how it all works.
You're probably here because you want to understand this theorem
Mm-hmm.
without like getting lost in a ton of equations.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do.
Okay, so imagine we have this AI agent.
Right.
Right. And it's trying to like navigate this complex world,
Okay.
almost like a video game character or something.
Yeah.
How do we teach it what's good when it's so hard to define good with math?
Right.
That's where the policy gradient theorem comes in.
Exactly. So before we get there, let's just do a quick recap of like the basics of reinforcement learning.
Oh.
We have an agent, which is like our AI learner,
Yeah.
interacting with some environment.
Mm-hmm.
That environment could be like anything from a simulated world to a real world situation.
Right.
The agent takes actions within this environment. And then based on those actions, it gets rewards.
It's like learning to ride a bike, right?
Exactly.
You're the agent.
Yeah.
The environment, pedaling and steering, those are your actions.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling you get when you stay upright, that's your reward.
Exactly. And in reinforcement learning, the goal is to like maximize those rewards over time.
Okay.
The agent needs to learn which actions lead to the best outcomes.
Right, but defining that reward function,
Yeah.
it's not always so simple.
No, it's definitely not.
Like saying stay upright on the bike.
Exactly. Like imagine you have a language model
Yeah.
trying to write in a way that sounds natural
Mm-hmm.
and engaging.
Right. How do you define natural or engaging with math?
Exactly. You can't just like write an equation for that.
Right. It's a feeling, a judgment call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge that the policy gradient theorem helps us like overcome.
Okay.
It's kind of like finding a shortcut
Mm-hmm.
through a really complicated maze.
Okay.
The reward is the treasure in the center,
Yeah.
but the path to get there isn't clear.
Right.
The policy gradient theorem is like the map, even if we can't see the treasure directly.
I love that analogy. Okay, so how does it actually work? The excerpt gives us this equation,
Mm-hmm.
S log park has R. I know equations can be intimidating,
For sure.
but let's try to break it down piece by piece.
Yeah.
Maybe using our bike riding analogy.
Okay.
What does the left side of that equation tell us?
So the Escher part,
Yeah.
that tells us how much we need to like adjust the AI's controls.
Okay, so like how much it steers or pedals or...
Exactly. Like how much to adjust those things to get better performance.
So it's like saying, adjust the handlebars this much or pedal a little harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about finding the right direction and like magnitude of those adjustments.
To get closer to the goal.
And what about the right side of the equation?
That's where the magic happens.
Okay.
It tells us how to calculate those adjustments.
Even when the reward, that treasure, is kind of a vague concept.
Exactly.
So can you walk us through it a bit?
Sure.
I'm seeing things like probability and logarithmic trick.
Right. So think of as the AI looking at its current situation, its state,
Okay.
and deciding how likely it is to take certain actions.
So like on the bike, the state might be leaning too far right,
Yeah.
and the action would be steer left.
Exactly.
So this part is about how the AI makes decisions.
Right. Based on what it's experiencing at that moment.
So it's constantly evaluating options
Yeah.
and choosing the best path.
Exactly. And then you have the logarithmic trick.
Mm.
Remember how we said the reward can be hard to define?
Yeah.
This trick lets us transform the problem into something the AI can actually work with.
Something manageable.
Exactly,
Yeah.
something differentiable,
Okay.
which basically means we can smoothly adjust the AI's behavior, right? Like those handlebars and pedals.
Exactly. To steer it toward better performance.
Okay, so how do we actually use this in practice?
Yeah.
We're not going to be like sitting here calculating logarithms by hand.
No, definitely not. That's where Monte Carlo sampling comes in.
Okay.
It's basically a fancy way of saying we're going to run a lot of simulations.
Okay.
Let the AI try different things and see what happens.
So it's like practice
Exactly.
for the AI.
Right. We let it practice
Mm-hmm.
and we collect data on its actions,
Mm-hmm.
the situations it encounters, and the rewards it gets.
So it's like letting the AI try riding the bike over and over.
Hmm.
It might fall down sometimes,
Yeah,
but eventually it gets better.
exactly. And by simulating a ton of these experiences, the policy gradient theorem turns this vague idea of good
Yeah.
into concrete data that we can use to refine the AI's behavior.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but we'll get into that more in part 2.
Sounds good.
So all that data we get from those simulations,
Yeah.
that becomes super valuable. It lets us estimate that expected reward and its gradient.
Right, giving us like those directions on how to adjust the AI's behavior.
Exactly, to get the best possible performance.
So the AI does a bunch of those like practice runs on the bike. We collect data on its like wobbles and stuff,
Yep.
and then use that to fine tune its algorithm.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
And this is where the policy gradient theorem really shines.
Okay.
Because it can handle those like fuzzy, hard to define rewards.
Right. Okay, so we've got this theorem and all this data from our simulations. What's next? How do we actually put this into practice?
Okay, so let's imagine we've got a language model.
Okay.
It's pretty good at generating text already. It's been trained on this massive data set.
Right.
But now we want to fine-tune it for something specific.
Okay.
Like writing really catchy marketing copy.
And catchy marketing copy, that's subjective, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But we can leverage human judgment.
Okay.
We can give the model a bunch of prompts, let it generate a bunch of different copy variations,
Okay.
and then have human experts rate the quality of those outputs.
So the humans are like the judges, providing those rewards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those human ratings become the rewards
Okay.
that feed back into the policy gradient theorem.
So the model learns from that feedback.
Right. It updates its parameters
Okay.
to increase the probability of generating text that gets high ratings.
It's like it's constantly learning from what works and what doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Getting better and better at writing copy that people like.
So the policy gradient theorem lets us train AI agents on these really complex tasks.
Yeah.
Even when we can't define good with like a simple formula.
Exactly. As long as we can provide some kind of reward signal.
Even if it's like subjective human feedback.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, looking back at the Python script, a few things stand out now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the use of log probabilities.
Right. The script calculates the log probabilities of the actions taken by the AI.
Right. That's a crucial step, isn't it?
It is. It makes the gradient calculations possible.
Right. The logarithmic trick.
Exactly.
And then there's the calculation of the policy loss.
That loss function is at the heart of the policy gradient theorem. It basically measures how off the current policy is from achieving those optimal rewards.
And that loss is directly affected by those rewards from the environment.
Right. Or, in this case, the human feedback.
Right. The higher the rewards, the lower the loss.
Exactly. The AI is trying to find that balance where its actions lead to high rewards and low losses.
Okay.
And to do this, it uses an optimizer, which helps it adjust its parameters.
So it's this constant cycle.
Yeah.
The AI takes an action, gets a reward, the loss is calculated.
Right.
And the optimizer tweaks things to improve performance.
Exactly. And it's all guided by the policy gradient theorem.
It's a really elegant framework.
It is.
For training AI for these complex tasks.
Yeah. Even when good is kind of a moving target.
You know, this deep dive has been about the policy gradient theorem and reinforcement learning. But what's really interesting is this idea of optimizing for a reward that's hard to define.
Yeah, that's a good point. It makes you wonder if we could apply these concepts to other areas of life.
Right, beyond AI.
What if we could use a similar framework?
Yeah.
To improve our own decision making.
To reach goals that are hard to quantify.
Exactly.
It's like taking those principles from reinforcement learning and applying them to personal growth.
Imagine defining your own reward function based on your values and what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Then you could use a similar framework to guide your actions.
Help you make better choices.
Exactly. Choices that are more likely to lead to those rewards.
It's like a life hack using the policy gradient theorem.
Right.
But let's bring it back to AI for now. We've talked about a lot, haven't we?
We really have.
From the theory behind the policy gradient theorem to the code and how we could even use it for things like language modeling.
It's been a pretty wild ride.
It really has. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is how the policy gradient theorem bridges this gap between real world goals, which are messy and subjective, and the precise world of AI math.
It's so cool how it all comes together.
It really is. We're training AI to do stuff that we as humans might not even be able to explain ourselves.
Right, let alone write an equation for it.
Exactly. It's like we're teaching them to understand goals that even we haven't totally figured out.
The policy gradient theorem is all about using data and simulations
Right.
to help AI get better, even when success is hard to define.
It's like teaching a kid to ride a bike.
Yeah.
You can't give them a formula for balance,
Right.
but you can give them encouragement
Mm.
and let them learn by trying.
And as they fall, they get back up.
Mm-hmm.
They start to understand how to stay upright,
Right.
how to pedal, how to
Yeah.
steer.
And eventually they get it. Yeah. And the policy gradient theorem is kind of like that framework that lets AI agents do the same thing.
Exactly. But for way more complex stuff.
Than riding a bike.
Right.
It's really amazing. To our listener, definitely check out that source material we talked about, especially that Python script.
Yeah. Play around with it.
Make some changes. See what happens.
See how it works.
And as you're exploring, think about those bigger implications.
Right.
This idea of optimizing for a reward that's hard to define.
Mm-hmm.
Could you apply it to other parts of your life?
To your work, your personal goals?
It's something to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe the policy gradient theorem,
Yeah.
besides being super useful for AI, could also change how we think about challenges and success.
In all parts of our lives.
That's a great point to end on. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep diving deep.